All right, guys, welcome in. It's Sunday night. Every Sunday night we do the 16-day forecast. We got some kind of freak storm that's going to be developing later in the month. I mean, it's like just freaky. We have all kinds of mass manipulation going on with the weather. We're going to dig into some of that. We're going to hit a few articles before we jump into the 16-day forecast. And then we'll get into all this manipulation on the maps. First, I want to here in Kansas City, sun pillar springs up over cold Kansas City metro sky. I just filmed one of these a couple of weeks ago. You know, they're calling it tiny ice particles falling to the earth refract some of the light upward. This is because there's so many particulates up in the sky, man. If you missed this one, but want a good chance of seeing another one, don't worry. Sun pillars appear most often on cold days when cirrus clouds are present. That's code word for chemtrails. All right, we got this coming. This come out of the Denver Post last February of 2018. Cloud seeding may make it snow, but it will reduce droughts will it reduce droughts in the West? In Colorado alone, more than 100 cloud seeding machines are set up in the mountainside backyards. Cheyenne, Wyoming, machines that prod clouds to make snow may sound like something out of an old science fiction movie, but worsening water scarcity combined with new evidence that cloud seeding can work is spurring states, counties, water districts, power companies across the thirsty West to use this strategy. Last month, a study funded by the National Science Foundation tracked for the first time how the technology works in nature. The evidence for cloud seeding has been scarce, but recent research has encouraged officials and companies to increase the amount of water in the rivers and reservoirs. Like I said, in Colorado alone, more than 100 cloud seeding machines are set up in the mountainside. So if this was in 2018, you know there's more. Their goals the same, to seed clouds with particles of silver iodide, compound that freezing water vapor easily to attach to. Colorado's program, which costs $1 million a year, is paid for not just by the state, but by the ski resorts, local water users, you the people, but also by the water districts as far away as Los Angeles that want to increase snow melt into the Colorado River, which sustains more than 30 million people across the southwest, most of the river basin experiencing drought. You know, I try to prove every single night that they are controlling the weather, and they are. They're playing God. You're paying for it, and you don't even know it. So just more confirmation. So, you know, it's hard to find some of these American papers that come out talking about it. That's why I was glad we found that thing there. Deadly chains of heat waves are linked to newly discovered pattern in the atmosphere. This come out yesterday. Science have discovered a new link between a pattern of fluctuations in the jet stream air currents, crippling heat waves that strike in multiple regions of the world at the same time. Atmospheric and oceanic phenomenon where giant meanders warp the flow of the currents in a wave pattern. And what they're really talking about, what this boils down to, is steering the atmospheric river, is what I was looking at before we were getting ready to come to the show. And we'll get into this later because we have mass manipulation of this by many companies. This is the rivers up in the sky, up in the troposphere. And they have technology that steers this. We've seen it done. We've documented some of the companies that do it and brag about it. 2 dead, hundreds of thousands of homes without power as powerful storm hits southwestern France. You know, they got inundated. Well, what happened before the storms got there? They had mega cloud seeding operations going on, and they're still going on. They got a mega storm that's going to be hitting towards the end of the month going into January. And I'll show you that here in a little while. Also, we got earthquake activity ramping up. Had a magnitude 5 earthquake strike near the White Island volcano. So we got more earthquakes that's happening down by the volcano that just went off that killed the 16 people, injured many more. We've also had 2 earthquakes detected near the Old Faithful geyser Saturday night and early Sunday morning. 3.2, 3.5. Not super small quakes. We've had some quakes in some weird spot. I don't have my quake app up now, but there was one down in Antarctic. The Antarctic fault line or whatever it is. Well, 12 hours ago, this article come out. We just don't know. The 400 volcanoes in Australia you didn't know existed, even the ones that could threaten Melbourne, and experts say they could erupt any time. This is like fear porn. There are hundreds of volcanoes scattered across Australia. Like Australia don't have enough going on right now. Experts can't agree when they will erupt. They don't know when these things are going to erupt. You know, you just had the one in New Zealand. And I'll leave all these links if you want to read into all this. This is mainly fear porn to try to get the masses to submit and move into the smart cities. Another unusual, very warm period develops across the East Central Europe through the remainder of December. Well, you got a wicked storm coming here pretty soon. You know, this is because they pushed the Arctic air away from here, and now it's over the United States, which we'll get into that a little bit later too. I'll have all these links posted into the comments section tomorrow sometime. Yeah, Iceland's getting ready. They got hammered with a bunch of snow, but they're getting ready to get hammered again, like with a worse storm, man. We gave out the warning on the last storm. Australia is on track to record its hottest day ever. Remember just a couple days ago, they were talking about how they were going through the hottest, or almost the second hottest temperature in 120 years. So, you know, what was going on 120 years ago, and you're just now breaking that record. But they act like, you know, it's getting worse every year. It's just all nonsense. Dozens of homes damaged and lost in these mega fires that are going on down here in Australia. I mean, I found something really weird on the map today, which we'll try to get into. I don't know if that's the one I was wanting to show you. There was one I was wanting to show you because something weird on the picture, which I probably got it somewhere in one of these links. You know, we were talking about how Australia is suffering in a huge drought, but they're selling their water to China and other places. Here's another article about it. Water restrictions for you and endless supply for them. A foreign corporate giant is snapping up 89 billion liters of Australia's water as the country suffers its worst drought ever. A lot of this was a man-made drought. I had an article yesterday on how it was a man-made drought. You know, just like the fires, you don't do forest management, you don't do stuff like this. Some of this stuff happens, and then you factor in all the particulates that they're dumping in the sky, making everything more electrified, accelerants for the fires. Another article, this came out 5 hours ago. Dire predictions for future Kimberley heat waves, but climate scientists warn against crying wolf. You know, they're just trying to push this climate crisis, climate agenda, when it's all the weather engineering and the grand solar minimum. It's all these cycles, natural cycles. And if you really dig back, you can see it's just cycles, man. You're not going to, you know, they can keep trying to play God, but they're just going to make things worse. Public health emergency in Sydney still. Doctors, nurses, medical scientists have united to declare bushfire-related air pollution a public emergency and call on the Prime Minister. But what do they want to do? They want to put it at the forefront of the real climate action. See, this is a way, hey, pay us money and we'll sell you this fake climate stuff, and we'll make you pay the rest of your paycheck so the climate don't get worse. I mean, look at the photos they give you here. I see grass and leaves. All the grass and leaves. The only thing burnt up here, the trees are scorched, but the building's gone. But there's still leaves and grass all over the place. Leaves all over the trees. You know, they should really filter these photos if they want to push this stuff. So this is just another paradise scenario, but in a bigger, much bigger format. When I was going through, you know, I've been seeing these snowfall amounts up in Canada. Hey, thanks out there, Lawrence. Much love out there. So I wanted to go kind of see what's their average snowfall, because we've been seeing 160 inches amounts, 120 inch amounts, and just crazy amounts of snow. And when I look here, you know, we're actually below normal, it looks like. Like they get their main snow amounts up to 1,200 centimeters all the way up into April. So we're just started. And pretty crazy. And I found this app here. And this app is actually coming from the Ministry of Environmental and Climate Change Strategy. These are automated. I mean, I don't even know if these are like snow machines like they got in Colorado, but I know this is automated reporting where you can see the amounts of snow in certain areas. So, I mean, one of these, like when you look at the chart, some of them are only where it goes up to 600 millimeters, where this one goes up to like 1,200 millimeters. So it's kind of, you can see this is where we're at right now. So it's definitely above average at this automated snow weather station graph. So just crazy stuff, man. I'm trying to find like what's the real average and stuff out here. Here's the other article I found for British Columbia. You know, their yearly snowfall averages, some of them are 164 inches, which they've had a storm recently that put out almost that much snow in one storm. So most of the numbers are pretty, you know, typical. Here's a place, Barkerville, 181 inches of snow per year. Got 150 there. But the weird thing is I'm having a hard time finding what's these snow abouts right now. I couldn't find them. I don't know what's going on. Let me close some of these tabs out so we can jump into the 16-day forecast. All right, let's just go ahead and get the 16-day forecast, and I'll show you all the freaky weather modification stuff that's going on. Let me get a drink of this tea here. All right, guys, so what we're going to do, same thing we do every week. We're going to use this GFS model. We're going to go up 6 hours at a time. We're going to check several places. We're going to check the United States, Europe, Australia. And then as we go up 6 hours at a time, we're going to, you know, see how this thing predicts. And then what we do during the week is we factor in if we see any kind of big changes in the weather engineering programs, you know, we can update the forecast, but we never have to because this forecast is always accurate. It's like it never changes. It's right on the money every time. And it makes you wonder, why does your local meteorologist cannot forecast one day in advance? They don't give anybody warnings for some of these mega storms. All right, so here we go. Let's go up 6 hours at a time. We can see, you know, we called 3 to 6 inches here 2 weeks ago, and that's what we're getting exactly. Anyway, so we'll go up. We'll get a chance of tornadoes popping off here in like the next 48 hours. Next 24 hours, you could have severe weather. In fact, you're going to get some pretty flooding rains there in Tennessee and Kentucky. But anywhere in the South, it's always tornado season now. There's too many metal particulates up in the sky. Here's another. This is Tuesday, December 17th. This is in 30 hours. Also heavy moisture going in up into the Washington area, BC area. And this thing just is kind of tracking pretty slow because we're still on Tuesday. Another day where you could have tornadoes. And there's a reason why. You got a bunker fuel ship operation out here in the southern part of the Bahamas. You got the atmospheric river coming up, so you got warm air. You just got a lot of factors, and we'll try to get into that when we get to the worldview map. This thing's going to track pretty much straight east. So wherever the severe storms develop, you know, Monday going into Tuesday, it's going to stay around that same longitude line. So you're looking at North Carolina, Virginia, looking for tornadoes possibly. You also got a big time wind event up here in Idaho, Wyoming, going all the way down through Colorado. I mean, that wind's going to be screaming. Now here's, I think this is it. No, here's the next storm. So we got another like mini cyclone coming in over on the west coast, up in the upper northwest. This is on Wednesday, December 18th. It's here in like 3 days, 66 hours. Pull this on up to 72 hours. You know, these patterns won't change for quite a while. I mean, the same places are going to keep getting hit. Here's some more moisture for Oregon, Washington, up in the upper far Nova Scotia area up in there. But there's a next system that's coming. And this is what's going to get quite a bit more severe. So, I mean, here, this is Friday, December 20th. So Washington, Oregon, you're just going to get slammed. But here's the next system that's coming here on December 20th. And it seems like every year on December 21st, we get some kind of wicked storm. Hey, thanks out there, Karen. So here we go. Here's some more, you know, possible severe thunderstorms over there in Oregon. But you got to watch this system down here off of Florida. This is going to be a major storm for Florida and most likely tornadoes and flooding. Heavy thunderstorms over there for Washington, Oregon. This is on the 21st. This is a day we always have to watch every single year. And look at Southern California, all the way down to Cuba. You got severe weather. So this is going to be a heads up for Southern Florida from December 20th going all the way up into December 22nd. And then, you know, you got another system there that could spark up South Carolina, North Carolina. This is on December 22nd still. Here comes the rain over for California and then going all up into the northeast. Now this storm is just going to blast the Bermuda out here. There's Bermuda right there. They've been a target. Now you can see the winds aren't wrapping up a whole lot right there yet. So that's just going to be the next wicked storm to head towards Europe, Iceland, Portugal. But there's going to be one way worse as we get through this. And even though this is out, this is next Monday, the 23rd. If you watch this storm right here, this is going to spin in right through where they're doing the bunker fuel operations. In fact, I'm starting to pick up where they're dropping this bunker fuel. It's taken almost a week or so, and then the storm follows that path. It's happened the last several times. And you're going to see this is going to come in right where they're deploying the bunker fuel today. So this could be a pretty good gully washer for Arizona, New Mexico, then right on up into Utah, Kansas, Texas, Oklahoma. Heavy rains. Still light rain there on the upper northeast. This is December 26th. It's going to kind of pick up a little bit of moisture, but and then start dying out here. But here's the next severe weather day. Another day for tornadoes. December 27th. If you guys are in these areas down in Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, and now Mississippi and Louisiana. This is December 27th. This thing's going to turn into a beast of a storm. Same thing, Washington, Oregon getting hit, which takes this up another 6 hours. Here we go, another line of severe storms. See, you're not seeing the temperatures here, so you're not seeing the variance difference, which we'll look at. But this thing's just going to start wrapping up. Once it gets past Florida, another severe day on the 28th. So 27th to the 28th, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Florida's going to get hit again. Here's your severe weather on the 29th. But then it starts turning into a pressure system. And watch this thing wrap up, man. It's at a 992 millibars. And something happens to the storm as it gets up to the north. Like, we're going to have to go to a different... We're going to have to go to the Atlantic to show you what is going on. Look at the tight isobars. This thing's going to be a mega superstorm out in the Atlantic. Possibly 60, 70 foot wave heights. And at the same time, you got more, not too heavy a rain coming into California. But yeah, we're going to have to take a look at that in a different map. So here's December 31st. And then the colder air is going to be kicking in. So this is as far as we can go. That's a 16-day forecast. But let's take a look at the storm that's going to be happening. And this thing is just like, I've never seen the wind bars. Let me try to zoom in on this. This is going to be some kind of beast right here. They're going to call this the beast from the east. This is going to be this insane wave heights and wind. So you're dropping down from 963, 950, 940, 935. This will be a bombogenesis. You know, we're up here. I think that's Nova Scotia right there. It might be right there, but it's definitely going to be some kind of mega storm out here, man. Mega wind event with mega low pressure. And that's as far as I can take it out. So that's going to be a storm to watch over here. And hell, even in Greenland, Iceland, Ireland, the UK. Because I can't tell where it's going to go because you got like a double high pressure right there. But the winds, I mean, I can't even figure out what these winds are going to be yet. But it's going to be insane, I can tell you that, if that model holds true. Okay, let me unzoom a little bit here. Now let's just go take a quick look at the weather for, let's go to Europe first. And then we'll check Australia's, because that's where, you know, our main viewers are. So this only goes, yeah, so we're going to have to kind of watch this later. So here comes your low pressure for the UK. Right now they're cloud seeding really bad. So here comes the first wave. This is not the really bad one. And it's probably not going to show up because it's right at the end of this cycle. But I'm hoping we get to see the isobars. See if let me pause it just so I can see if it's starting to, if it'll show up out here. Yeah, we're not going to get it, man. It's still over there, so we're not going to get it. Let's go ahead and check out Australia real quick. They need the rain. They have moisture there, but they're not letting the moisture come in. We have a lot of listeners down here, so we're trying to watch it down here a little more. So I'm just going to kind of take this forward a little bit. No rain. They have a high pressure parked, even though there's cloud cover. Even though there's atmospheric river right here, they're not letting the rain come down. They're using drying agents. They're chemtrailing the sky, but it's to dry the sky out. So it's not looking like there's going to be any kind of moisture till December 23rd in the fire zones. but there's so many fire zones. You got maybe a couple little light showers here, man. Nothing major. Nothing to really put the fires out. You know, something like this could spark more fires because it'll be electrified. Anyway, we'll keep watching. Look at all the severe weather hitting in the fire zone later in the month. Some heavy storms up to the north. No cyclones or anything, but a lot of heavy pop-up storms. These are going to start the fires in the north section. So we're going to see more fires ramp up in the north from the rain. Believe it or not, from the rain, it's going to cause more fires because it's so electrified. Let's go ahead and get back and check temperatures real quick just to see what kind of temperature stuff that we're looking at, because we know they're pushing the polar vortex winds over to us, which I'm going to show you just here shortly. So we just kind of try to go through this kind of fast. So we got some pretty cold, not bad. I mean, no super Arctic plunge air. A little bit right here, but that's way up there in North Dakota, -12. Still nothing to, not super, the super cold like the -20s and stuff. I'm just going to kind of scroll through. Now, you got some pretty good cold spot that's up in higher elevations. See up here in the pinks, you got -25. It doesn't look like, oh, so here's the first one for Minnesota. Right around December 18th. Remember, you got that bad storm coming in Florida on the 21st. So you're going to see where the temperature gradients are. So definitely a super cold spot that's going to be hitting Minnesota and Wisconsin, part of the Dakotas, up in Toronto, Quebec, all them places up there, -20s. So it looks like it's going to move pretty fast. See, and then here's the day, or we're on the 19th. Let me try to get up. Yeah, so when you got some pretty hot temperatures down here. So I'd say the reds are in the 70s to the 80s. But that's the day that you're going to get the severe weather. A lot of moisture right there. So we're just going out here. So really, that's really the only Arctic plunge. This is going to be a widespread cold, but it's nothing, you know, it's wintertime. So it's nothing like out of the ordinary on them temperatures. It's these pinks and stuff you got to worry about. All right, we're probably good with all that. I want to show you a few things here. Now, as we can see, I guess I could show you the what they're doing to the polar air mass. Let me put this on the temperatures, take off the winds. They're doing what's called a rapid heating event. So they're heating the sky over here. They're heating up in the troposphere. And they're trying to push this Arctic air mass around. Now, I can go up just a couple days. And then they can tap into this. So let me see how far I can go up. See how they push it a little more over towards the Europe side. They're trying to get that thing to hook around to us in the United States, as far as I can go. One thing you got to remember, there's no solar wind, no geomagnetic storms coming in, and it's dark up here. It's wintertime up here. It's dark. They're not getting any solar radiation. The only thing that's keeping it heated up here is the bunker fuel operations. So this is something else. This is like ionospheric heating. It's also going on over the whole Antarctic. So let me go ahead and get back into the winds. And as you can see right here, all the highest winds up in the stratosphere up here, we're looking at 230 mile an hour winds. So this is what they're tapping into for some of these storms. Now when you drop down to the, let me make sure I'm on now, and I am. When you drop down to the jet stream winds, where the severe weather is, You got the high winds here. Let me stop that so you can see the lighter the colors, the faster the winds. And exactly where the bunker fuel operations are, right here, southern part of the Bajas, and then right here, right where the jet streams are splitting, is where they're parked, is where they're deploying. It's like they're splitting chunks of that thing off, sending stuff our way. Just want to check the temperatures at this level. Okay. Might as well go ahead and check the ocean while we're here. We're going to see some massive waves happening out here in the Atlantic with the next couple of these storms. Take the winds off. So you got another one here below the Aleutian Island chains. We're looking at 35-foot seas, 32-foot seas. Let's see if I can go up another day. So that one's going to weaken down a little bit. The thing with these models is I can't go up very far. Another 35-foot waves. Just kind of checking these. All right, that's all we got there. Let's go ahead and check the carbon monoxide. We can see China's suffocating. India, same thing. How come they don't? You know, India planted like a million trees, a few million trees, and it's actually helped. You know, China and India were about the same when you looked at this, and their carbon monoxide has gone down because they have planted so many trees. You want to fix the climate? Plant trees. Quit cutting them down. Do forest managery service. That's what you get paid to do. So we got quite a bit of carbon monoxide at the surface. Let's go ahead and check the carbon dioxide. It's actually all went down. It's actually looking much, much better. It's all drifting off just south of the Boston area. We actually do have a little bit of a higher spot in the Texas area, Arkansas area. Here's our sulfur. This is what's the bunker fuels are putting out. At least the regular cargo ships. That's what these guys are putting out. That's why you're seeing the long straight lines. That's what's making the storms more intensified from all the extra metal particulates. Here's our dust. It's all going down to South America. You actually got a lot of dust over here, which is weird, off the coast of California, and they just had rain. Still fires going on up in Oregon, Washington area. So this is actually looking a little better on the particulates, unless you live in India and China. All right, I think let's go ahead. We're done with that. So let's go ahead and jump into the, let me check the watches and warnings real quick. So here's the last 200 frames we get. So right now, you know, we got some flood warnings and flood watch. This is all flood watch. That's pretty severe little line of storms right there going through Tennessee right now. Surprised they don't have any kind of warnings on that. And then we got something freaky that goes on if it's still here. Look at this. What I want you to watch is right here at the border of Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama. You know, your meteorologists are going to tell you this is birds. But watch right here. Let's see if we can get you to see where I'm circling. Watch that. Look at that thing. Look at that energy come up out of the radar and then push right where they put the thunderstorm watches. So watch this again as it comes back through. The watches come up. So they just watch that. Now watch this right here. Look at this energy go up, up, up right into the tornadoes or the thunderstorm zone. There was also another one that sucks that energy up. Let me see if I can remember which one it was. So you got this one, that one's going up. Oh, you also have it coming out of the right here at the border of Georgia and Florida. It's sucking energy up. These are not birds. The meteorologists will tell you them are birds. Them are not birds. Them are pulsed energy, like light amounts of radio frequencies that are being pushed and pulsed up. Yeah, you can see it. You notice where they want, let me turn off the data. Actually, I need to turn off the watches and warnings. And what you'll see is they have the radars turned off. Where they want the moisture to go, they turn the radars off. See, they turn them off. As the moisture gets here, they turn them off every time. Unless they don't want it to rain, they'll be cranked up. If they have the radars cranked up out ahead of this, it'll kill the storm off. So they're all getting turned down. As the moisture's coming, they're turning off the Dopplers as they come. They want it to flow. That's how they're steering these storms. Like I said, you can see the energy being pulsed up into the storms. Let's go ahead and just check the cirrus layer while we're here. And it's because they're not birds. I got a montage of meteorologists telling, you know, when we see stuff like that, the meteorologists, I've heard them call them earthquakes before. I've heard them call them birds flying out. They've been bats. They've been bugs. They've been beetles, bats. Like, I got a whole montage of these psychopaths trying to tell us that they're birds. They're not. It's energy. And it looks like they're cutting the lower part of the data still. They're having a problem with this thing. Alright, so let me go ahead and jump over to the west. We'll see the bunker fuel operations have been big time over here, so we want to take a quick look. There's actually 3 bunker fuel operations going on right now over here on the west coast. Yeah, they called them hamburger birds. They said one time for I think it was Hurricane Florence, they said hurricane birds flew into the hurricane in the eye wall. Somehow the birds got in the eye wall of the hurricane out in the middle of the sea. So look, you can see the bunker fuel operation has moved way farther south. I know it's all messed up data here, but you can definitely see them. But there's several more locations. All right, this is gonna not like help us at all. Let me jump out of that. All right, so we're gonna jump into this, man. This is where we spot most of the weather modifications that are going on. So when you look down here, I can see them. You can see a little bit of lines right here. Probably not too extinguishable, but when I add on a layer, it pulls out these ships that are dumping out this toxic emissions. In fact, the most toxic emissions on the planet are all these long straight lines. See the tic-tac-toe grid patterns. Just 13 of these ships put off more emissions than every car on the planet. We got at least 13 ships out here doing it right now. Now, this is the first operation. Let me go back to yesterday. See, yesterday they were all right here. Kind of the northern part of the Bajas. They were really thick, really deploying some thick stuff out here. And then when we go back to today, they're all down farther south. You got these are a little bit farther out in the Pacific. But when you go up, we have another operation right here. And right where they always feed, they're in between the high and the low pressure. They're here for a reason. So you got them coming down. And then there's a third one a third operation over here off the Kamchatka Peninsula, over here by Russia. So you got a third operation. So we went from one main operation right off the coast of California, then it went down a little farther. Now we have 3 bunker fuel operations. And here's the other interesting thing. Exactly where these bunker fuels are. I mean, exactly where they are. If you line them up perfect and just scroll diagonally up, you got this. These weird lines and aerosols being deployed over the Fort Worth, Texas area. And all these real long, like, streaks of clouds. And then this engineering program right here over southern Arizona, Nevada. These are all lining up like directly with the bunker fuel operate. I mean, they're right on the money. I mean, they're pointed right there. That has something to do with it. You have aerosols being deployed all off the coast of Washington, Oregon, right where they're getting all the moisture. I can't really pick a lot up here in Canada right now. I mean, you can see the shadows kind of. Now, you're going to see when that big storm comes up later in the month for Florida, they're going to start just bombarding the Gulf of Mexico with aerosols days in advance. Now, I got something really strange going on down here off the coast of Chile. Now, we got this massive, like, smoke curtain right here. This is not a real cloud. This is a synthetic man-made cloud. I call it a smoke curtain because it looks like these smoke curtains that they used to deploy in 1923. We click the layer. Yeah, it's coming right out of Chile. I mean, you can actually see there is air tracks in this, but somehow they kept it in this really tight pattern until it gets out here. Right where the earthquake, there was an earthquake that hit out here. And you got this, and it almost looks like a big circle, like a big blast wave going on. But it's really, that's odd right there. That's almost like it's the beam steering down. And it's not changing a whole lot with several hours between these shots here. Another super strange thing that's going on is they're steering the atmospheric rivers up into Uruguay. I mean, we see them usually bring them up towards the Rio de Janeiro area, but now they're going up into Uruguay again, Argentina, and then of course you got the freaky thing there. And then another odd thing going on. You had the moisture being pulled up from the Antarctica right down here into South Africa. That's like just completely freaky right there. That don't happen unless somebody's pulling up the atmospheric rivers. And look at all the storm clouds you got over here in the Tasmanian Sea, all over Australia where the fires are, but there's no moisture coming out of this. We even have bunker fuel ships over here and aerosols, tons of aerosols. We can click the layers. So you got aerosols being deployed all over Victoria. Out here in the sea, you got the microwaves out here. This is not gravity wave clouds. This is microwaves drying out the clouds. And when you get it back here, you can really see the aerosols that were deployed. These actually aren't the fires. These are the aerosols being deployed. Here's the fires. All kinds of aerosols in this. And they go all the way down to New Zealand. You have aerosols still being dumped out here. They're already starting to drift out. And right in the volcano zone, they've been spraying for 2 days out here. So 2 days, you got a mass weather program being deployed right where the volcano went off. All over New Zealand, all the way through the Tasmanian Sea, and all the way up here into Australia. You know, what is this thing right here? This is like another blast ring. See, it's staying together. You can really see, if you zoom in, you can see the aerosols being deployed. They're hitting this with something, some kind of frequencies. Aerosols everywhere. This is all engineered. See, it's just staying there for after hours and hours in between these photos. That thing is just staying there. The cloud, the smoke is going down this way, so I don't know what that is. Tons of aerosols over Kangaroo Island, Victor Harbor. These are all aerosols. Now there's a strange event going on, and I didn't get enough time to look on Google Earth to try to figure out what is going on here. Also in Perth, but you have like a fire and a dust storm going on. Now I have another worldview map loaded. Now I got this all the way back on November 16, 2019. And I just want you to watch. Right, you know, it's actually about right in here, but look at all these are deployed aerosols, but just watch these fires start populating. Unless they're not on here. Yeah, they'll pop up. So we started getting a few fires here, and then they'd go away. You can see the aerosols. This is on the 22nd. And then right down here, I don't know if these are some kind of mining. I don't know what's going on here. This November 23rd. And then you can see all the aerosols being deployed over this area, and it's showing just like one or two little fires. And then they grow, and then they grow, and they grow more. And then there's a storm. They kind of go down, and you got pure microwave clouds all over the place. Then it starts just really ramping up. Look at this. Look at the grid patterns. This is on December 4th, and it's in a complete circle, and it just gets worse. And then it goes down, and it gets worse. This looks like a volcano, but it actually looks like, you know, forest on fire, but it's in a perfectly circular shape. And then we get here on December 14th, and look at this. What the hell is going on down here? These are all in grids. Weird color smoke. I don't know if this is a volcano. I don't know what's down here. So that's what it looked like yesterday. Look at the sky is all clear. Now watch when I get up to today. Now we got, you know, what is this smoke? Where did that come from? So now we got, you know, major weird color fire smoke or whatever is going on over here. I don't know what it is. I've seen some weird smoke come out of here before that was really black. Now you got fires down here in southern Perth, aerosols out off the coast. Now the main bunker fuel operations have been right in this area over the last couple weeks. Here's the aerosols by the planes. But you could, it's just some odd, like when I come across that article today about the volcano stuff. I mean, what is this smoke? Why does it look so strange? And it's like you also have dust mixing in with it. So I really need to get with some, you know, some of the viewers down here. I know they live more over on the east side, but this is really strange. Maybe, you know, it could be something like some kind of mining or some kind of mining burn off, or it could just be a fire. I don't know, but the smoke is a completely different color, and it's been going on for over a month, you know, off and on, and then it explodes into this today. So I don't know. That is just completely odd to me. Same thing here. Looks about like the same. Tons of aerosols. Remember, you got a little moisture coming up here to the north, but it will probably most likely just spark off more fires. And I can't remember if there was something I was wanting to show. Oh yeah, we got more to look at here. Let me get us back over. I don't think I went over Europe and them yet. Thought I had one completely loaded. Yeah, this one was kind of loaded. Alright, so right now, you know, France and them have been getting inundated with stuff. Oh, I think I'm on the wrong. One of these already had all this loaded. Let me see if it's this one. One of these maps I already had all loaded. Yeah, it's this one here. Alright, so Portugal's getting hit with the aerosols. They're setting up for the next storm. I got to really zoom in here because they've already been spraying so long it's drifting out into these synthetic clouds, but you can still see them just bombarding this area. And it goes all the way down straight off the coast of Morocco. They're spraying in Morocco. Big spraying operation over in the Tyrrhenian Sea, over here in Tusnia. Huge operation. Mediterranean Sea, it's actually went down, but they're still spraying out here, but it's way lighter. Like way lighter. But where are they spraying now? They're setting up for the next stuff. UK, you're clear right now. But here in about a week and a half, you're going to get bombarded. So the big spraying operation is the north part of France. I mean, they got mega grids going on up here. Thick, nasty aerosols being deployed over Belgium. And it just keeps going all the way into Germany. So yeah, this is going to be pulling all the moisture that's over there off in the Atlantic right now over here. So here's the target zone for the weather out here: the Netherlands, Germany, Belgium, Cologne. This is where they're steering it, and then it'll be coming right into France. So big time spraying here in Malta. All this stuff's going to go over towards Greece here in a day or two. Hungary's getting hit with aerosols. They'll be over Romania. In fact, there is some in Romania right now. And it looks like all the weather modification that was going on is still going on. So here in Sudan, you have aerosols. You have chemtrails over the desert. All over the Red Sea. Going straight over. Remember, this is the United Arab Emirates. This is where the two big weather control companies are. Let's go back to yesterday. And this is where I was saying it looked like they were having a flight war over here. Because these aerosols were all being dumped from two directions, like heading at each other. So you got these planes that are heading, super grids heading. I mean, this is so blatant, man. This is all super grids coming down. Then you got them coming up from the other way. And they all, like, there was like a little explosion of something out here. Yeah, it's right there. It's already drifted out. See if I can find that right layer. But they did all these weather engineering cloud seeding operations yesterday, and then look, we turn it to today. Boom. All the moisture is exactly where they were spraying. Now it's headed up into Iran, then over towards Afghanistan. You can look them up, the Global Trading Company. they offer cloud seeding for so much per barrel per meter or something like that. Yeah, if you're Missouri, I mean, we're gonna get 3 to 6. Hopefully, we're all don't have to go to work tomorrow. I mean, I don't know. There's gonna be more ice towards the south. Let's go to their sales of equipment and see if that gives us the. See, they changed the site around, so I don't know where they have the prices on it now. Let me just see if I can get through it real quick. Yeah, I need to probably spend some time over here. They talk about here's all the weather modification that they do. This is a big company. You got to pay for stuff with the climate cron. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and call this a show. I want to thank everybody out there that helps share these shows out and the information out and all that stuff. It helps us out, supports us. Make sure you subscribe to all the backup channels and all that stuff. Not sure I'll be, yeah, I was just trying to think about tomorrow. Anyway, guys, much love. I'll try to post these links sometime in the morning on the video in the comments if you're here watching on YouTube. Anyway, guys, much love. Here we go. We're going to play a song called Rise. People need to rise up and demand answers. Get them to stop. All right, guys, much love. Here we go. Peace out. Eyes to the sky and armor up.